Hi everyone, welcome to yet another workshop offered by TCS in lieu of the upcoming management case study examination. This workshop is focused on the E2 related syllabus areas, and as the session outcomes, we will firstly take you through the syllabus overview for E2. This will be followed by a discussion of a mock exam task relating to E2 syllabus area. And of course, this will be a workshop where you will have the opportunity to raise any questions you have pertaining to E2 related syllabus areas, as well as any other questions pertaining to MCS. So a reminder about the upcoming webinar. This will be the final webinar workshop for this session. And please note that it will be on Sunday morning. This is basically to make sure that you know um, you have the guidance and a little bit of last minute exam tips to make sure that you utilize the few days before the exam effectively, and that you don't overdo things, and also you maintain your composure on the exam day. So that's about the upcoming workshop. And in this workshop, we will look at the E2 syllabus overview to start with. All right, as you may be aware, we will refer you to the TCS mock exams syllabus coverage document, because we've covered all the key areas from the syllabus within our mock exams. So we will refer to this document so that those who are attempting the mocks will revise the topics that we've listed here before attempting the upcoming mock exams. So managing performance, E2, there are three main syllabus areas. Firstly, business models and project management, followed by managing people. So three main syllabus areas, and we've listed the key topics under each of these areas. Let's start with business models. Now, the pre-scene sets out Trimayr's business model, and you are expected to be thorough with the key elements of Trimayr's business model to start with. And I hope you find the annotated pre-scene helpful, because in the annotated pre-scene, what we've done is list out the key points from Trimayr's business model. So you will see a bullet point summary of the elements of the business model. And please make sure that you are able to remember the key points from each of these elements. And in today's mock exam discussion, we will take you through a task relating to business model, a topic often tested, but not often well answered by candidates. That's mainly due to lack of preparation. So something significant about the business model part of the syllabus is in the pre-scene relating to shiny glass, the exams for which were held in November 2024 and February 2025. The examiner had included tasks on three variants, and in all those three variants, the examiner had given a snapshot, or rather this page of the pre-scene, as the second reference material. I repeat, as the second reference material. So it made life easy for many candidates who could not remember the key elements from the business model. And please don't assume that it will be the case in your examination in August, because it was only during the last sitting, that was shiny glass pre-scene, November 2024 and February 2025, that we saw the examiner provide students with this material. In the sessions before that, according to the published past exam variants and answers, we did not see such a reference material. So that's why we advise you not to take a chance. And anyways, having had the pre-scene about 5 months ahead of the exam, because you're sitting the exam in August, and as you know, the pre-scene for the August case study released in the last week of March. So having had the material for so long as a candidate, um, you are required to know the key elements from the business model. So please don't waste your time in the examination to refer to this reference material to pick the points with regard to the four elements of the business model. Refer to the summary and refer to the suggested answers that we have published for mock exam 1. You will have an idea as to how you are required to summarize the key elements of the business model, because practically you will not have enough time to rewrite this entire section within your answer. So that's why it's important for you to identify the key points from each of these elements and include those key points within your answer. And that's exactly what we've done in the published suggested answers for mock exam 1. Of course, this is the task which we will be discussing today as well. So more on it will be discussed later on. All right, so with regard to business models, remember, you could be tested on the impact of a business decision. It could be a new development. It could be an issue relating to the existing business processes, operations. It could be anything, but it will definitely be a new development. And you could be tested on discussing or analyzing the impact or the implications of that development in Trimayr's existing business model. So for you to successfully answer any task pertaining to business models, the first thing is to be thorough with Trimayr's existing business model. So that's why we repeatedly suggest that you be thorough with the existing business model so you can save time and you can develop an effective answer for business models. So do not revise the business model elements from a theoretical perspective, but look at Trimayr's current business model and be prepared to apply uh, your knowledge on business models based on the context in the examination. Business ecosystems, remember Trimayr's ecosystem includes a number of players, stakeholders. We have a franchised model as well as 40 owned salons. So we are dealing with uh, an ecosystem which is complex, because as a franchise business model, you need to manage the franchisees. You need to look at uh, whether the franchisees are in line with the brand, and at the same time you also need to be managing the two segments that we operate in, the pop and sheen segments. That complicates things further, and because we are in uh, an industry which is developing and which is constantly subject for innovation, we also need to work with the latest hairstylists and celebrities and whatnot. So you see an ecosystem which is built upon a complex web, and we have to manage all these players or elements within the ecosystem, and it's definitely a likely scenario for Trimayr. Disruptive technology, a topic which has been tested in recent times, and you should be aware of how Trimayr's existing business model can be disrupted by new technological developments. And that's one of the themes of our mock examinations. So I'm sure you have the breakdown of the 6 mock exams. So there is one mock exam which is themed on disruptive technology. Data analytics, remember, Trimayr uses a business intelligence system, and that gives the opportunity for the examiner to test your knowledge on data analytics related issues facing Trimayr. So once again, be prepared for application oriented tasks. You're not going to be asked technically the meaning of a business intelligence system or big data analytics and so on, but it will be about how in a given situation the business can optimize its performance using data analytics, and what could be the challenges, issues associated with utilizing data analytics. So be prepared for an application-oriented task. That's how we've seen this topic being tested in the past. All right, we'll move on to the next topic, project management. Remember, this is a topic which can be tested from a technical perspective as well as from a practical perspective. For instance, we've had past examination tasks where the candidates were required to discuss project management issues. So it's an open-ended task. Project management issues are specific to a project, and which project is specific to you? Well, the one that's given to you in the exam in the reference material. So while reading through the reference material, you need to figure out the issues facing the business, and you need to highlight the project management issues accordingly to make sure that you compile an answer which will guarantee you a pass. At the same time, there can be some technical questions pertaining to how the different stages of a project should be managed. It could relate to project life cycle. So remember, there are two different ways of looking at the project life cycle. There's a 5-staged approach and there's a 4-staged approach. You could be tested on either. So you need to know what these 4 or 5 stages are depending on the model, because in the absence of knowing the project life cycle, you will not be able to construct an answer which will guarantee you a pass. So as I already mentioned, there can be tasks which require a technical knowledge, such as the one relating to project life cycle. At the same time, there can be tasks which are practical and which would not have reference to any project management tool, technique, or model. Moving on, please be thorough with the project constraints, time, quality, cost, as well as the scope, because these are the main issues affecting the success of a project. And once again, you could be expected to apply your knowledge of project constraints to a given scenario. Project management tools, remember there are several tools to manage the different project constraints, cost, quality, and scope, as well as making sure that these elements are within the control of the project manager. So you should be aware of which the tools that are specific to the different constraints. For example, you will use a work breakdown structure to manage the activities. And when you manage the activities, you can manage the time. You will use a budget to manage the cost. And of course, the cost breakdown. So you should be aware of the different tools and which constraints are managed by which tools. So that's something you need to remember from a technical perspective. Moving on, project stakeholders. And if there were questions on project stakeholders, you could be expected to discuss it from a practical perspective. So you don't have to worry about, the theoretical elements with regard to stakeholders. Project is a one-off activity, and the stakeholders would be specific to that one-off activity. It's not going to be, something which is standardized that you can go prepared for. So that's about project management. And the last element of the syllabus is managing people. Now, at the management case study examination, where your role is that of a finance manager, if you look at each variant, there is definitely a people management related task, because we are assessing your skills as a manager, a middle-level manager. And one of the skills that is needed of a middle-level manager is that of managing teams or people. So highly likely that your variant tests your knowledge on one of these subtopics under managing people. It could be leadership. Remember, leadership tasks need to be approached practically. We had one task in one of our mock examinations last week. When I did the marking, I came across answers which were too theoretical, explaining the different leadership models. In the management case study examination, unless the examiner specifically requests you to discuss, a model or to describe the style of leadership, you should not be bringing in theoretical, discussions pertaining to leadership. So make sure you read and understand the task requirement correctly, because leadership tasks often seem easy, but candidates make the mistake of not understanding the task requirement correctly. So for that reason, in our mock exams, we've included two different tasks relating to leadership, because we want the candidates to understand, yes, the topic is leadership, but it could be tested in different ways, and the answer would depend on the task requirement. So please make sure that you read, understand the scenario, and based on the task requirement, construct a response relating to leadership. Moving on, negotiation, definitely a topic that you can expect to be examined at least in one of the 6 variants, if not more, because it's easy to bring in a scenario pertaining to negotiation, because your exam is all about issues facing the business. So there could be opportunities that the business is going to pursue in your variant, or there could be some weaknesses that the business is dealing with. So in either case, there would be the need for negotiation with different stakeholders. So please make sure that you are aware of the 4 stages of negotiation. And to make your life easy, we've covered a task within mock exam 1. You have the suggested answers for that available under the free resources. So please make sure, if you still haven't practiced a task on negotiation, that you do so by attempting mock exam 1 on the TCS exam platform. Conflict resolution, once again, a popular topic in the management case study examination. And candidates tend to make the mistake of, coming up with theoretical responses to managing the conflict. Remember, conflict is something that you don't manage using theories. Of course, in managing people syllabus content under E2, we have, conflict resolution related theories or models, but think practically in your day-to-day, work life. Do you remember, recall, apply theories to resolving conflicts? So make sure you understand the conflict. Make sure you put yourself in the manager's shoes and see how you will go about resolving that conflict from a practical perspective. So if you have that mindset, I'm sure you can definitely tackle conflict resolution related tasks successfully in the examination. Health and safety, of course, another area which is relevant for Trimayr, because we've clearly been told about the health and safety related issues in the pre-scene. So I'm sure you are thorough with the content in the pre-scene, and it was highlighted that the nature of some treatments, the exposure to chemical treatments, could cause health and safety related issues, not only for the customer, but also for the hairdresser. So if you refer to our, annotated pre-scene, once again, in the respective areas, we've highlighted the health and safety issues, and how possible exam scenarios could develop based on that health and safety related issues. And we've also highlighted the examinable syllabus areas. And as I'm discussing, managing people related areas, as you can see, we've listed out what could be the areas relating to managing people that could be tested in relation to health and safety issues. So please make sure that you cover these areas while going through the annotated pre-scene. In fact, it is a good idea to read through the annotated pre-scene tomorrow if you haven't done it in the last 2 to 3 weeks, because closer to the examination, you need to revise the pre-scene content and how best to do it. Well, take the annotated pre-scene and refer to the comments section, because what we've done here is we've given you a summary of the key points. Whatever we've highlighted, we have brought it under subheadings. So it makes your life easy. You don't have to read each and every page. You refer to the summary, and it's a more organized summary, as you can see in bullet form. And we've also made sure that while you read through the pre-scene info, you also revise and prepare for the possible exam scenarios as well as the examinable areas. So please do that tomorrow, because next Sunday could be too late for you to, have a proper read through of the pre-scene. Coming back to managing people, there could be issues relating to disciplinary action. Remember, we have our own salons, so those are employees of Trimayr, and there could be issues relating to apprentices, trainees, and how we should go about handling such a scenario. It's a likely issue because we are in the service industry and it's all about people serving people. And if there are issues pertaining to the service, we definitely need to consider disciplinary action. So please make sure that you are aware of the different steps to be followed in terms of disciplinary action. And once again, remember, we've got you covered within the mock exams, because this is the mock exam coverage document, and that means if you are attempting the mock exams as per the study plan, and if you are revising the areas based on the suggested answers, that you will be covering this topic as well. Moving on, managing people. Remember, team management. In recent sittings, we've seen at least one of the 6 variants test candidates' ability to manage teams. Don't get theoretical. Don't discuss about the stages of forming teams, or don't try to come up with definitions of high performance teams. It's not necessary. It's basically about how you will manage a team in a given situation. And one other point, please make sure that you read and understand the task requirement correctly. Do not presume the task requirement, because your answer to managing the team will be based on the exact task requirement. And for candidates who could not score, pass marks based on mock 3, I suggest that you reflect on where you went wrong in terms of answer planning. Because if you correctly understood the task requirement, chances are that for a task relating to E2, such as managing people, you could have come up with appropriate points. So more often than not, what happens is the urge to type, something, or the urge to type a lot because you're afraid of the timer running out, or you're afraid of the content. So to make up for your word count issues or time management issues, you tend to type whatever that comes to your mind, and you often end up typing something which is totally irrelevant to the task requirement. So it's an investment. It's an investment that you make in reading the task, understanding the task, and thinking of points relevant to the task. So please make sure that you don't skip this process when attempting the upcoming mock exams. Communication, a straightforward topic. This will relate to a communication between stakeholders. So as the management, depending on the issues that you confront, you may be required to demonstrate your skills of convincing the different stakeholders, or your ability to resolve certain issues. So once again, we've covered such a scenario within our mock exams. Usually when things go wrong, your skills pertaining to how you will communicate and manage the different stakeholders will be tested. So please make sure that you don't get theoretical when it comes to a task relating to communication, but based on the scenario, come up with a practical response. Moving on, motivation. This could be an issue in service-related industries such as that of Trimayrs. There is already some concern coming from the apprentices, right? That the trainees, that they are not quite happy with how they are being treated, and there can also be issues with regard to uh, their career growth and whatnot. So there can be motivation related issues among staff, and how you would deal with a particular situation could be tested in the context of motivating the workforce. So once again, don't come up with theoretical responses, don't discuss motivational theories, just focus on the given scenario and just address the given task. Moreover, you could also be tested on issues pertaining to a manager with regard to responsibility related issues. In other words, lack of responsibility or exceeding authority or delegation of authority. So, there could be some managerial issues which you might be required to advise on to your superior. So these are the main areas with regard to the E2 syllabus. And, I'll give you the opportunity to raise any questions pertaining to these during the Q&A session. Moving on, I have a small announcement. This is with regard to our products. And we are pleased to inform you that with little more than a week to the exam, we have a special offer on the MCS Essential course. So please visit our website and check out the MCS page, and you will see what is covered within the Essential course. And with with the exam coming up, if you still haven't had access to quality material which can help you pass the August sitting, you can consider investing in the Essential course. Remember, um, August will be the last sitting under the Trimayr pre-scene. So if you are planning on sitting the exam in August under the existing pre-scene, this Essential course is worth for you. If you're planning to sit for the exam in November, then don't purchase the Essential course right now, because this product will expire at the end of August. So those who are planning to do the exams in November, please wait until the first week of September to invest in the Essential course. Of course, this offer is only for the last week of this exam sitting. And also, for those who have already invested with us in the Essential course, we have a special offer for you as well. Please reach out to me or Nick. You can upgrade to a premium course without the feedback, because we don't have time for you to attempt the mock exams on the platform and to receive feedback. So you will receive an upgrade to the premium course on a special offer. And the advantage for you will be the 20 master classes and the answer plans. You will have summarized versions of all 6 mock exam answers. So it makes your revision all the more easy. And if you struggle with understanding the technical areas of the syllabus and how you ought to apply the technical areas of the syllabus to a given scenario, then these master classes will become extremely helpful for you, because this is about 12 hours of recorded content explaining each and every mock exam task along with the answer. And not to forget that we also do a brief recap of the technical area to prep you tackle any similar tasks in the examination. So that's about the products and what we're offering towards the end of the session. All right, let's move on to a discussion of the mock exam task. So I'm referring to mock exam 1. All of you have access to mock exam 1, whether you are on a paid course or the free course with us. And I'm going to take you to the task relating to business model. So in section 1, we were briefed about a diversification. So I'm going to save some time by not rereading the scenario. By now, you have all attempted this mock exam, and you would be aware of the theme, diversification, and you would be aware of the development in the Dassland market. So we were told about the rise of full service beauty salons in Dassland, and it's a growing market opportunity. Remember, if the examiner is to introduce a new development, the examiner in the past has provided sufficient background about the industry or the development within the reference material. So just because you see a scenario relating to diversification, it doesn't mean that you have to go and read and understand each and every diversification option for Trimayr. You won't be required to, because the examiner is more interested in testing your application skills in a given scenario than testing your industry knowledge or the diversification options, because that's basically the decision of the senior management. At the strategic level, you will explore the options and you will uh, evaluate the options and decide on the option. So in the MCS examination, you will be provided with the management's decision, and all you need to do is help the management, navigate through the business issues arising out of their decision. So as we read the newspaper article, we see that in recent years, the beauty and personal care industry in Dasland has witnessed a significant transformation, with full service beauty salons emerging as a key trend. A full service beauty salon is a one-stop destination that offers a wide range of beauty and personal care services beyond just hairdressing. So as I said, the reference material tells you the very obvious fact that a full service beauty salon is a one-stop destination that offers a wide range of beauty and personal care services. So it's not just hairdressing, but it's beyond that, personal care, right? So a candidate cannot say that, look here, I did not understand the reference material, I did not understand the new development, because the examiner will make it very obvious and clear for you in the examination. These salon providers, such as these salons provide services such as skincare treatments, facials, waxing, and makeup applications, catering to clients who want a complete beauty experience in one place. So that's basically a market which has women as the target customers. Unlike traditional hair salons that focus mainly on haircuts, coloring, and styling, full service beauty salons integrate multiple beauty treatments under one roof. This creates a convenient and luxurious experience for customers, as they can receive hair, skin, and beauty treatments in a single visit. As the demand for personalized and high quality beauty treatments continues to rise, full service beauty salons have positioned themselves as a preferred choice for individuals looking to enhance their appearance while also indulging in self care. So, both aspects are there. Remember, you will obviously want to make sure that you look nice, your appearance, and also there is a self-care aspect, where you like to indulge in all the luxury and all the relaxation and the comfort that you get by obtaining one of these services. So that's basically how the service operates. Tasland's full service beauty salon market is experiencing new entrants. Now that's important for us, because it's not about the particular service, full service beauty salon, but it's about a business development. There are new entrants and there are existing players who are continuing to expand their footprint. Now, you have discussed subtask A in one of the webinars that we conducted earlier. Subtask B, which was relating to business risks and how those risks can be mitigated. So why I highlighted task B is that when you read this piece of information, that the full service beauty salon market is experiencing new entrants while existing players continue to expand their footprint. That's something you need to bring in within the discussion of business risks. But our focus today will be on the E2 related task, which is subtask A. So let's read through the task. Evaluate the implications of entering the full service beauty salon market on Trimayr's business model. So it's on Trimayr's business model. And if you look at past paper tasks and examiners published suggested answers, you will see that the examiner approaches, or the examiner has suggested to approach business model related tasks in a particular structure. That's the exact structure we have also followed in the suggested answer. So you need not waste time, closer to the exam referring to past paper tasks. But because it's on Trimayr's business model, you should discuss the key elements. I repeat, the key elements of Trimayr's existing business model and then show application by discussing what would be the implications on Trimayr's existing business model of entering the full service beauty salon market. So how will you go about the answer? Well, first of all, in your answer planning, you should have thought about 4 headings for sure, because there are 4 elements in the business model. So definitely in your answer plan, you would have set out the 4 headings. And if you look at the technique, you will firstly explain what Trimayr is currently doing. Now, this is where the published suggested answers become extremely helpful. Because if you refer to the suggested answers, we've explained what Trimayr's current business model is with regard to defining value, creating value, delivering value, and capturing value. But you will see that we have not copied and pasted, or we have not written this entire part in the answer. Firstly, it is not necessary to reproduce this exact defining value content within the answer. Secondly, you will not have time to do that in the examination. But some candidates do. And remember, you are not going to score marks for simply copy pasting content from the annotated prelim. However, you should highlight the key elements, and that's exactly what we've done in the suggested answers. So what we are saying is that, look here, Trimayr currently defines value by working closely with several stakeholders, including franchisees, manufacturers of hair care products, and the fashion and entertainment industries. And why do we do that? To position ourselves as a trendsetter in hair care. And customers associate the brand with high quality and strong reputation. So in 2 sentences, we've captured the essence of defining value. We've only included the key elements, right? So this is how you will also need to go about writing your answer to manage time effectively. So remember, in terms of planning the answer, firstly, explain what is the current approach, right? And thereafter, explain the implications of entering the full service beauty salon market on the defining value aspect of Trimayr. So what could happen if we enter the beauty salon market? Well, we will need to expand the definition of value, or we will need to define value beyond just hair care, extending to personal care. So now for us, the value, the definition of value is not just high quality hair care products and services, but it's about high quality hair care products as well as personal care. So we have to make sure that the new line of services that we will be introducing reflect this brand premise, because we were clearly told that customers associate our brand with high quality. So there is reputation and there is high quality in terms of the defining value aspect, thanks to the high quality hair care services that we offer. So for us to sustain this in the new market, we have to make sure that the defining value aspect will incorporate the brand premise of quality as well as innovation when it comes to personal care products. Because remember, it's an even more sensitive line of treatments, and quality is something that we cannot compromise. Unlike the hair, we are now going to deal with skin directly, and you are exposed to higher health and safety risk, and you cannot compromise quality, especially if you are going to use Trimayr's brand identity, because currently customers associate Trimayr with high quality and a strong reputation, and we need to sustain that. And we would therefore need to make sure whatever services that we introduce under the new chain of salons or under the new market entry, we actually, maintain the same level of quality as well as the service to ensure the reputation is intact. Moving on, you will discuss about creating value. So currently, how does Trimayr create value? Well, we deliver excellent quality services, and that drives repeat business and loyalty. So thanks to the high quality services and thanks to customer loyalty, the customers are willing to pay premium prices, right? So that's one of the advantages that we have because thanks to, um, hold on, somebody is annotating on the screen. Right. So how are we able to charge premium prices? Well, it's the high quality or the excellent quality services that we've offered over the past. So the Trimayr brand identity, if it is consistent with offering premium prices, and if we are to justify premium pricing with regard to the new range of services that we will offer, we will need to make sure that we employ highly qualified beauty professionals. Because as I already said, it's about people serving people, and we need to have the best people. And we also need to make sure that the services that we offer align with the latest industry developments, as well as the safety, standards. And if we are able to have the best people, highly qualified, experienced professionals offering treatments which are in line with the latest industry developments, then we can maintain the same brand identity and we would be able to justify the premium prices that we are currently being able to charge from the customers. So you need to explain how we will be able to, willingly make the customers pay the same premium prices, but for a different range of services under creating value. Moving on, delivering value. So if you look at the pre-scene, we find that currently we have a two brand model because we are able to access two segments thanks to the two brand model, the Sheen and Pop, salons. And we also, in terms of delivering value, have the locations and operational hours of the service to provide convenience. So we pick the real estate decisions to suit the customers, the locations, as well as the operational hours. So before they go for work or after they go for work, after they finish work, or while they are shopping, they are able to access our services. Now, the implications on the beauty salon market would be that we would still need to make sure that we are accessible because we are going to expand our brand to this new line of services. So we have to make sure accessibility. And remember, unlike hair care services, the personal care services, skincare treatments are likely to take longer hours, and we will need to manage the appointments for personalized longer treatments more effectively compared to hair care services. Because if you take men, you might have a haircut on your way back home, just to save time, some time, or you go shopping and you just find a salon and you don't find many people in, so you quickly go and get a haircut and move on with your shopping. But if when it comes to beauty care services, it's not the case. It's not a decision that you would make randomly or depending on your type. You plan for it and you dedicate a time slot for it because it's going to be time consuming. And especially women, when you have certain functions, events coming up, that's when you would plan and schedule an appointment. So for us to make sure that we continue to offer convenience to customers, we will definitely need to manage the appointments of the customers, in a better manner compared to what we would be currently doing. And at the same time, you need to consider, the salon layouts, because you need to make sure that it's spacious and it offers some privacy to the customers, so that, they actually, indulge in the services as we were told in the reference material. So you need to create that, cozy and comfort environment and the space for the customers to really enjoy the service, if, they are to, appreciate the Trimayr brand, and if we are to be consistent in terms of how we will be offering the new service. So if we try to introduce these services in our existing salons, obviously we will need to, make sure that, we change our salon layouts, because you won't have, uh, the current layouts supporting these treatments. As I mentioned, it has to be more spacious, and you will have new equipment, tools, and definitely we will have to go through changes with regard to the salon layouts. And all this is to make sure that we preserve and offer the seamless and efficient customer experience that we are associated with in terms of the hair care industry. And finally, capturing residual value. So remember, currently how we are going about it is the self-financing franchise model, and we take a share of the revenue as royalty. And this also offers us the opportunity for scalable growth while maintaining brand standards. So how would we, go about capturing value, or what would be the implications of entering the beauty salon market on capturing residual value? Well, for one, we can say that the franchise model can be used to capture value. We can upgrade the franchise salons, especially the upmarket salons, to also include beauty care services. However, we might have some issues in convincing new franchisees to sign up with us, because we are new to this market, and the new franchisees may be reluctant to sign with us. So if we are unable to upgrade our existing franchisees to also include beauty care services, or if we are unable to sign up new franchisees who are also willing to include beauty care services within their range, it would impact the revenue share. And for us to encourage signings, we may have to, compromise on the percentage of royalties, because, if there is nothing in it for the new franchises, they are unlikely to sign up with us. So we may not have the same level of interest coming from franchisees to sign up with us for this new line of services. And we would need to encourage them to do so by providing additional support, and most importantly, by being flexible with the revenue share. And why we need to do that? It's because of the lack of brand recognition for Trimayr in the beauty salon market. So yes, we can capture residual value the same way, but the implications are that, we would need to find ways to convince, franchisees or businesses to sign up with us. So that's about the answer plan. And remember, there could be other implications. You could have come up with other points, provided they are within, the marking scheme, or within, a justifiable range. You would definitely be rewarded for coming up with other points with regard to implications. So that's about the discussion of the mock exam task. And I'll open up the session for a Q&A. And success stories do keep coming in, and it's a reminder for those who are working according to our, study plan. Stick to the process and be confident, especially if you are disheartened by the mock exam marks, please don't feel that way. Even this candidate had lower marks in the first mock exam. But what's really important is to acknowledge the issues. If you don't agree with the feedback, if you think, an issue which has been raised by us is not true, you can always discuss with us. And if you are willing to, find out what the issues are, And if you are going to work on addressing those issues, definitely you will see improvement in the mock exams, and definitely you will see the result in your favor in the examination as well. All right, let's open up the session for a Q&A, and let me pause the recording for a while to facilitate the discussion. All right, thank you for your questions. If you still have any more questions, please feel free to post them. But let me remind you, with one more week for the exam, and uh, there is definitely, you know, the tendency to panic or to fear, or to, put yourself under so much stress. So remember, uh, you really can't control what you have done in the last 3-4 months or weeks. So don't worry about what you couldn't do during the last few weeks, but focus on what you could do during the next 7 to 10 days, depending on your exam date. And just take some time to reflect on if there is any negative thought, or if there is any fear that you have about the exam. Just think why it is coming up. There could be some causes for the stress, or for the panic, or for the fear. And what I would suggest is take this week or so to tackle those fear factors head on, right? So if F2 is bothering you, you still have enough time to revise, to prepare. So get it out of your head and your system. You confront the issue head on. You still have time. That's what I want to say. I won't say that next Sunday, but if you still have any doubts, fear factors, you still have enough time to counter them, whether it's P2 or F2, or whether it's time management, or whether it's practicing mocks. You still have time. So reflect back on what could be negatively impacting your confidence, or negatively impacting your preparation, and confront them and tackle them head on, so that next Sunday when you come to the workshop, you can tell yourself, yeah, I had some concerns, I had some issues, I did my best to tackle those. And that's what you should be focusing during this last week. And as I mentioned, it could be useful if you read through the pre-scene once tomorrow. If you hadn't gone through it in a while, that'll actually help you with remembering some key points from the pre-scene as you prepare for the exam. And don't go into past variants or anything during this last week. Just focus on mock exams and tasks focused on this pre-scene due to the time constraints. And don't also overload yourself with too much work. Have a plan, and make sure you stick to the plan in such a way that you address the fear factors and boost your confidence as you prepare for the exam. So that's about uh, the workshop for today. And please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions, concerns, queries, and do follow our social media handles, especially YouTube as well as TikTok, if you are to, if you are interested in looking at some of these clips that summarize the pre-scene content and some other, exam related content. So that's about the workshop for today. And until we see you all next Sunday, have a great weekend, and best wishes with your preparation during the last week. Thank you, and see you all next week.